Hello and welcome to another battle report. This time it is Conflict 47 again. Americans versus Soviets, 1,000 points. Mission envelopment. My forces, same as last time. The American forces. And coming into it, the Russians were the attackers. The two vehicles, the scout car and the light tank, started in reserve. I did get a pretty good bombardment coming in here. I did, if you notice in the bottom right, walking through deployment, the sniper was here, GI squad, medium mortar, another squad, GI squad, GI squad, LT, I believe that was his spotter, and I believe a bazooka and fireflies were back here. You can see the advanced deployment of my anti-tank squad. So opening turn one, I got the first pull, and preliminary bombardment did half the work for me and already killed half the squad or sniper team there. And attempting to go ahead and finish them off, the snipers fired in, hit but didn't kill. And then I got the couple pulls later. You see, the plan was the heavy infantry. I knew I wasn't going to get them across the board, so I wanted to put them in a main open area to centrally push. The plan was to have some squads and slide up on the left flank out of photo here. So the Soviet heavy infantry was going to push up, attempt to delay and absorb most of the fire. I have an SMG squad coming up in support. That way they could break either left and hopefully get to sneak off the board over here, or if needed, if the heavy infantry are brought down, swing over to the right and provide assistance in that regard. The veteran squad, they have two light machine guns, so my thought was they were going to hug this cover and be able to fire both in this direction and over here. And that way, if we got lucky and were able to take out that squad, we could then run up and get an easy victory point that way by running onto their table edge. They ended up getting shot a lot, as this was the only unit on this flank besides the sniper. They absorbed a lot of fire this game. As I alluded to, the left flank, so at the end, this is the board state end of turn one. My opponent went ahead and was nice enough to flip the turn counter, so we didn't forget. But yeah, this is the end of turn one. And my inexperienced and anti-tank squad, like I mentioned, they were sneaking up the flank here. The Siberian Terrors, my 8-man group, they came in here. The idea being that with the SMG troops, the Siberian Terrors, they could run either left and kind of try to hug this terrain and get off the board and get points that way, or support if my heavy infantry and SMG troops couldn't hold the line, that they could go and reinforce that way. They were also somewhat acting as bait. The Firefly squad here, I knew they were one of the few things that could react quick enough this way to stop my inexperience, so I was hoping he didn't. My opponent was smart enough to kind of see it as the trap it was, but he didn't try to pursue them just yet, knowing I had two SMG squads that would come and finish him off. One thing I didn't mention is I did my 6-man Siberian Terrors are in outflank, and they'll be coming in. I planned for them to come in on the left flank, so that was another plan of mine, is if he did bring the squad up, I would be able to come in and hopefully counter them, kill the squad, and then run off the board. Top of 2. I continued the push, the plan again being just to hold the line and absorb as much fire as they could, because if his 3 squads and his LT and commander and everybody is firing at them, they're not paying attention to the inexperienced squad anti-tank and other groups going up the left flank. The anti-tank team, they were assaulted here, wiped out fairly easily. That was kind of a error on my part putting them up so close. We did treat all these ruins as just area terrain, so if you're in it, you just count it as hard cover, but you could see through it, so the walls weren't, it wasn't true line of sight in that regard. It did block line of sight though. If you were on one side of it, you couldn't see to the other, so you had to be inside the terrain to be shot at or shoot through it. Top of two, my sniper team is hit by his sniper, but luckily nothing happened besides a pin. And the GIs advance. I believe they tried some shots on the veterans, but didn't get anything. And the first real kill of the game, my sniper was able to take out his sniper. And then, as you can see, the reserves come on. The GI squad, I don't believe they shot, but both tanks fired into the veteran squad. One whiffed entirely, and the other managed to do some hits. Didn't do any kills, but did cause some pins, or up in. The left flank continues its advance. So again, trying to really force his hand at this point. So now that his reserves are deployed and all the way up here, really this is the only threat I see to my left flank as far as getting all these units off either onto his table edge or half or off this board is really the Firefly squad. If I can deal with them, so even if it takes me a unit or so, I get so many victory points by getting units off the board here that it's worth me trading one squad, maybe even two, to make sure I take them out, knowing that everybody else can sneak off with no issue. The first pull, not shown here, the Fireflies kind of jumped up to here, able to put one shot onto the Siberian Terrors. I think I didn't lose anybody, but I got a pin. So promptly I was happy, ready to return the favor, go finish this Firefly, and with that one pin, I promptly foobar my leadership and mow down 5 of the second wave SMG squad. I don't know if it was right, but we did have them go down to protect them. I have to look that up later if it's incorrect or not, but they did get brutally gunned down, and I did pass my morale check, so that's a plus. That's last turn. This turn, I was able to run them up, the Siberian Terrors up, and light up the Fireflies. We engaged in a good old firefight, and he was able to do I believe a casualty, and then I wiped all of the squad out. The Tesla car, the Tesla car fired into the veteran squad, did another, I believe, a casualty, and just stacking the pins on. Again, they're doing their job. They're keeping all the fire that's going into them. It's an action is not going to my left flank, where is my main push to get points. The heavy infantry advance up, continuing their fire. Again, just doing a delaying action, just forcing him to deal with them. Second wave does their job, although a little less of them. We advance up and fire and finish off the Firefly squad. And my left flank just continuing to sneak up. The Siberian Terrors come on this turn, and I just run them up. At this point, they're worth more points to me getting off the board than coming assisting in the center there. Top of 4. As you can see, my my kill trophies. Heavy infantry continue the advance. So they're doing a good job. They're absorbing fire from functionally the 1, 2, 3 squads here, and not pictured, or slightly pictured, the super bazooka, or just a regular bazooka, firing at him. Tesla car didn't want to miss out, so he pulls up and promptly zaps three, which, I mean, you make sense. Guy's in heavy armor, lightning cannon, you're going to have a bad day. The SMG squad, the regular squad, comes up. There was a super bazooka squad here. They were able to clean them up, picking up my third unit killed. The veterans continue to take fire last turn. We rally this time. I think pulled off 4 pins or something silly like that. But they're still holding on, doing their job. And first unit gets off the board, tears. The tears, we advance up. We do have 2 Panzerfausts, so the idea is come up, maybe threaten the squads here, start picking up these squads, but also try to take the tank out. But because we have the 2 Panzerfausts, the idea being is that they're going to have to deal with that squad. Otherwise, we're going to run up and fire some point blank shots and take his tank out. So again, they're basically falling in line with the heavy infantry as just doing a delaying action so more squads can get off the board here and drag down as many units as possible. Top of 5. So we continue the firefight. I believe yeah, this was a short range firefight, and we managed to hit him. Didn't do any damage, but lose one of our heavy infantry in the process. The veteran squad is finally brought down by the GIs. I've not mentioned the sniper's been popping shots on this squad, and there's a squad up here that was in the central ruins. We've been pulling out their BARs, we've been pulling out their sergeants, so they've been taking casualties. So the snipers put in a good amount of work this game, unlike the last one. And come to my turn, I've gunned down the squad that was here, and they are promptly removed. The medium mortar finally was able to get a hit and just obliterated the squad. Coming into 6, there's really nothing going on minus the squad here getting gunned down, and that was about it. So we ended up calling it after that. My 2 squads on the left got off the board, and then that brings us to turn 6, and that was game. So conclusion, it was a Russian victory, 12 VPs to 8. So it was a success in that regard. The heavy infantry and Siberian Terrors did their job, and that they were able to hold up a majority of his forces in the middle there, allowing 3 of my units to get off. Those 3 units being the Terrors, anti-tank team, and experienced. I was also able to kill 4 units. The regular sniper, one was regular infantry, bazooka team. He did pull down 4 of mine. The 8-man, they were wiped out via the medium mortar direct hit. The 10-man, they were just, I believe, brought down by the tanks, medium machine guns. The 8-man veteran squad, they're kind of the unsung heroes. They were able to absorb a lot of fire from the tanks and squad on the right, and even the central squad there in the ruins. So they were getting shot up all game, but at least they were forcing him to deal with them. The one that I really lost here that I shouldn't have is the regular tank hunter anti-tank team. I wasn't paying attention to the mission, and in a typo. And then I wasn't paying attention to the mission, and that I was basically just giving him free victory points here. So that should have been on hindsight, a team I should have hidden more towards my deployment zone and then would it should have attempted to run off the left flank to get some additional points that way, but because of how I deployed them, I just gave him free victory points. So that was a lesson learned. Pay attention to the mission, because a couple rolls there, and he definitely could have killed enough of my units to sneak out a victory, especially when I'm giving him points here just by feeding him a unit. But all in all, a good game. It was the first time I've played American, so that was interesting seeing the Tesla stuff in action in a while. Um, I've I played the Americans before, but they didn't have that. So, but all in all, a pretty good game, and looking forward to playing this opponent again and actually getting to try out some of the other American stuff, because they have with the Germans, the Americans have a lot of the neat riff tech stuff. So looking forward to seeing that. All right, thanks. Bye.